Elective energy from the ocean. Sea thermal energy conversion (OTEC) was imagined by the French specialist Jacques d'Arsenval in 1881. Be that as it may, at the hour of this composing the Natural Energy Laboratory of Hawaii is home to the main working trial OTEC plant on the substance of the Earth. OTEC is a potential elective fuel source that should be subsidized and investigated significantly more than it by and by is. The incredible obstacle to get over with OTEC usage on a wide and essentially helpful level is cost. It is hard to get the expenses down to a sensible level due to the cycles by and by used to drive OTEC. Seawarm energy would be exceptionally spotless, consuming and not add toxins into the air. Notwithstanding, as it by and by should be set up with our present advancements, OTEC plants would have the limit with respect to upsetting and maybe harming the nearby climate. There are three sorts of OTEC. Shut cycle OTEC utilizes a low breaking point fluid such as propane to go about as a moderate liquid. The OTEC plant siphons the warm ocean water into the response chamber and heats up the middle of the road liquid. This outcomes in the transitional liquids fume pushing the turbine of the motor, which accordingly produces power. The fume is then chilled off by placing in cool ocean water. Open cycle OTEC isn't that unique in relation to shut cycling, besides in the open cycle there is no transitional liquid. The ocean water itself is the driver of the turbine motor in this OTEC design. Warm ocean water found on the outside of the sea is transformed into a low-pressure fume under the requirement of a vacuum. The low-pressure fume is delivered in an engaged territory and it has the ability to drive the turbine. To chill off the fume and make desalinated water for human utilization, the more profound seas virus waters are added to the fume after it has produced adequate power. Half and half cycle OTEC is truly a hypothesis for now. It looks to depict the way that we could make most extreme use of the warm energy of the sea's waters. There are really two sub-speculations to the hypothesis of hybrid cycling. The first includes utilizing a shut cycling to produce power. This power is thusly used to establish the vacuum climate required for open cycling. The subsequent segment is the coordination of two open cyclings with the end goal that double the measure of desalinated, consumable water is made that with only one open cycle. Notwithstanding being utilized for delivering power, a shut cycle OTEC plant can be used for treating synthetics. OTEC plants, both open cycling and close cycling sorts, are additionally ready to be used for siphoning up cool remote ocean water which would then be able to be utilized for refrigeration and cooling. Moreover, during the control time frame when the ocean water is encompassing the plant, the encased air can be utilized for maricultural and hydroponics activities, for example, fish cultivating. There is obviously a serious exhibit of items and administrations that we could get from this elective fuel source. Elective energy in Ireland. The Irish are at present seeking after energy autonomy and the further improvement of their vigorous economy through the usage of innovative work into elective fuel sources. At the hour of this composition, almost 90% of Ireland's energy needs are met through importation, the most elevated level of unfamiliar item reliance in the country's whole history. This is dubious to be in, and the requirement for creating elective fuel sources in Ireland is forcefully seen. Ireland likewise looks to save and revive its normally wonderful climate and to tidy up its air through the usage of elective energy supplies. The European Union has commanded a decrease in sulfuric and nitric oxide emanations for all part countries. Environmentally friendly power energy is expected to meet these destinations. Hydroelectric force has been used in Ireland in certain zones since the 1930s and has been powerful. Be that as it may, a greater amount of it should be introduced. Ireland additionally needs to bridle the wave intensity of the Atlantic Ocean, which on its west coast is a potential energy gracefully that the country has in extraordinary store. Ireland really can possibly turn into an energy exporter, as opposed to a country so vigorously subject to energy importation. This energy potential dwells in Ireland's considerable breeze, sea wave, and biomass delivering elective energy possibilities. Ireland could turn into a provider of sea wave-delivered power and biomass-filled energy to mainland Europe and, as it's been said, rake in huge profits. Right now, Ireland is most firmly centered around arriving at where it can create 15% of the country's power through wind ranches, which the public authority has set as a public goal to be reached by 2010. However, colleges, research organizations, and government staff in Ireland have been stating that the improvement of sea wave energy innovation would be a genuine main impetus for the country's economy and one which would extraordinarily assist with making Ireland energy-free. A test site for creating wave sea energy has been set up in Ireland, under 2 miles off the bank of a spidle in County Galway Bay. This exploratory sea wave outfitting site is known as Wavebob. The most fiery waves on the planet are situated off the west shoreline of Ireland, says Ireland's Marine Institute CEO Dr. Dominish Heffernan. The innovation to saddle the intensity of the sea is just barely arising, and Ireland gets the opportunity to turn into a market chief in this area. David Taylor, CEO of the Sustainable Energy Initiative, or SAE, reveals to us that SAE is focused on development in the environmentally friendly power area. Wave energy is a promising new environmentally friendly power asset which might one be able today make a huge commitment to Ireland's power age blend in this manner, further lessening our dependence on petroleum products. Padraig Walsh, the leader of the Irish Farmers Association, discloses to us that with the conclusion of the sugar beet industry, an expanding measure of Irish land assets will open up for elective uses, including bioenergy creation. Today, sustainable power sources meet just 2% of Ireland's all-out energy utilization. From a cultivating point of view, developing energy harvests will possibly have a suitable future on the off chance that they give a monetary quantifiable profit and work, and if the possibility of this return is secure into what's to come. Presently the get-back from energy crops is minor and is hampering the advancement of the business. Biomass energies should be additionally investigated by Ireland.